Alright guys, so today's video we're going to be checking out a pair of true wireless earbuds that I think is really just showing us the way that true wireless earbuds are going to start going moving forward. At least we're going to see this with a lot more companies. And the pair that we're going to check out is the EPOS GTW 270 Hybrid. Now the name hybrid is coming from the feature that I'm talking about, where the pair of true wireless earbuds comes with a USB-C dongle. Now this is what a lot of tech is trying to move forward to. Obviously Apple hasn't converted completely over to this, but most Android phones, most PCs, the PS5, the Nintendo Switch, the Steam Deck, all of these systems and devices use USB-C. So having this USB-C dongle allows you to wirelessly connect to all of these devices and not have to worry about lag or latency. And especially with this pair, because using the USB-C dongle, you actually have aptX low latency playback. So latency is not an issue with this pair. Now it is not cheap. This is a pair that comes in retailing. Now it says it retailed for $199, although right now on their website and also on Amazon, it's priced down to $149, which definitely makes it a little more comparable to some other ones that we've tested. And if you're not familiar with EPOS, EPOS used to be Sennheiser's like gaming division, but a couple of years ago, they branched off on their own. And to be honest, the look and the design of these look a lot like Sennheiser's CX lineup. And this is a huge plus because if you're going to be gaming, you don't always want devices that have RGB lighting and have these flashy looks. Sometimes you just want something that just works but still can look clean. And I think that's what they're going for with this pair. It definitely looks like a normal pair of earbuds. And like I said, it comes with the USB-C dongle so that you can use these across all of these different platforms. The other important thing about this dongle is this is the only way to be able to use an app or software that's made for these earbuds, because there's no app that actually works on the phone. You have to put in the USB-C dongle and then go and download their software. Now, a lot of people aren't even going to want to do this, but once you download EPOS Gaming Suite, it actually makes a huge difference with these earbuds. It allows you to obviously keep these updated. Now, when these first came out, the USB-C dongle didn't allow you to use your microphone. So you could game with these, but you couldn't use the mic. So again, this is where software is important, because updating these allowed these to be able to use the mics. You also have different EQ settings, which I can also tell you makes a huge difference. You can switch this into 7.1 or 2.0 stereo sound. I, again, am not a huge fan of simulated 7.1, but you can do that. And you can also adjust the reverb. So if you think it has too much, you can dial it back. If you think it needs a little more, you can just bump it up a little bit. So I like that you have these controls. You also have different controls over the microphone. You can bump up the gain on these if you don't think it's picking you up very well. You can adjust the side tones so you can actually hear yourself talking through the earbuds. And this just keeps a lot of people from just yelling when they're gaming with their earbuds. It also has a noise cancellation feature. Now, this is not noise canceling as far as you being able to block out your surroundings, but it's noise canceling for the mic so that it's blocking out noisy environments, so that if you're talking to somebody on the phone, it's going to try to block a lot of that out. And then the only other option is you can actually just mute the mic. If you don't want to use the mic at all, you can mute it within the software. I wish that they had some of these features on the earbuds themselves. And I also wish that within the software, you can switch around controls, which you can't. But maybe they can add this in a software update. But as of now, you just have the controls the way they are out of the box. And we'll talk about that in just a second. Now, another thing that I do want to point out, and I think this is one of those like marketing terms or maybe just a gimmick in general, they have what they call brain adapt. Now, I tried to look up all of these different things on this, and it doesn't really specify what it's doing, other than it says it's technology that's designed to support the way your brain processes sound. Now, that's, again, a very vague statement, and I can't really tell what that is doing on these earbuds. So it's a feature that's listed, but not something you can toggle on or off. Not really anything that it specifies what it's intending to do. Now, if you are going to use these as regular true wireless earbuds in Bluetooth mode, it does have Bluetooth 5.1, and it does have aptX playback, which I think is a huge plus. Now, if you are also going to use these outdoors, it comes in with an IPX5 rating, which again means these are not waterproof, but they're going to be fine if you're going to use them at the gym and you sweat heavily, or if you're by the pool and they get splashed, it's fine. Or if you're outdoors and it starts to rain, you don't have anything to worry about. Now, as far as what all you're getting inside the box, they do include 4 sets of silicone ear tips. They do include a USB-C cable for charging, and then they also include a USB-A to USB-C adapter so that you can even use these plugged into your PlayStation 4. So you can use a regular USB slot and then plug the dongle into the other end. So it's nice that they include that because some of the products that include the USB-C dongle, if you want to use them for the systems like PlayStation 4, you have to go buy that adapter separately. And then the only other thing that they've included is this little silicone grip for the USB-C dongle. This has a little lanyard or a little string attached to it so that you can attach it to something, but there's nowhere on the case to actually attach these two. So I don't know if they think you're going to just put this on your keys. And this is one thing I think they really should fix. I really do wish that there was a place to store this USB-C dongle on the actual case. So you were gonna have to keep up with this separately. And for me, that's kind of a pain in the ass. I like everything to just stay together. Now moving over to talking about the battery life. Battery life is actually kind of disappointing. On a full charge, you can only get about 5 hours on the earbuds, and you get about 20 hours total using the case. Now 5 hours is more than enough for me at a single sitting, but a lot of people can just put their earbuds in and leave them in all day. So 5 hours is going to be disappointing if you're used to 8, 9, 10 plus hours like we've seen on some other earbuds. But if you do happen to pick your earbuds up and they are dead, at least it does have a fast charge feature where a 15-minute charge will give you an hour's worth of use. And also, speaking of charging, the case is not Qi wireless charging. So you are going to have to use that USB-C plug to charge these. But speaking of the case, again, I'm a huge fan of the build quality of the case. It is definitely solid. On the back, you can see the USB-C input for charging. And then around on the front, it has its pairing button. And then it has 5 indicator lights. That way you can kind of gauge how much battery life is left on the case. But moving over to the earbuds, immediately these earbuds remind me a lot of Sennheiser earbuds. They have the same kind of groove on the inside where it fits into your ear canal. And one thing I find really strange is they actually use a physical button for controls, but you only have one button and it's located on the left earbud. And with that one button, I'm also sad to say that they do not give you control over everything. The one thing they left out is volume control. And like I said, even going into the software, you cannot switch any of these things around. You are just stuck with the way that it is out of the box. So you have your play, your pause, your ability to skip your tracks forward, go backwards, and then you can summon your smart assistant. But again, there is no volume control, which is pretty disappointing. Now, if you are going to use these for taking phone calls or obviously gaming on your mobile devices, I think the mics are doing a pretty decent job. I think it picked up my voice very cleanly, and I even think in noisy environments, it blocks a lot of my outside noise. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. So here is a mic test using the GTW 270s. Like I said, I think things come through very cleanly when it comes to picking up my voice. It does sound slightly warm, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. And so now here is the mic test with the crowd noise being played, which you can hear here. And so this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's talk about the sound. And I'm going to say this, the sound of these out of the box was kind of disappointing. It just felt like it lacked something. But once I went into their software and messed around with the EQ settings, I found that the music setting was my favorite. Obviously, it bumped up the low end, it bumped up the treble. And so the overall sound using them that way is it still retained a lot of Sennheiser space that they have in other earbuds. This is definitely a fairly open sounding earbud, and it does a really good job of being able to tell where sounds are coming from, but it still delivers a really aggressive bass. It is not a tight bass. It does hit and kind of sit around for a little bit. So this is a very punchy pair of earbuds, and the mids are really pushed forward. You can tell with this being a pair that's kind of focused on being a gaming pair of earbuds, they want to make sure that you hear people talking. They want to make sure you hear dialogue and vocalists, even like the subtle rustling of leaves that people may be walking in. You can hear a lot of that because the mids are pushed forward. And really it's the same thing with the treble. The treble is tuned up to be dynamic, but it is not overly bright or harsh. It does have a nice little sparkle to it, so there is a lot of details in the treble. But I like this because they didn't allow the bass to just come in and just destroy it. They allow it to still have a lot of clarity, and it counteracts really well with that nice punchy bass. So really, my overall opinion is this. It feels like you're getting Sennheiser's CX true wireless earbuds, but with a little bit more bass, and also having that USB-C dongle just makes it a lot more versatile. So really the only things that I wish that they would change is I wish that there was a dedicated app that you can use on your mobile device to be able to switch around a lot of things. I also wish that it had Qi wireless charging and fast charging. And obviously I wish that it had volume control. I don't understand not having all of your controls on a pair of earbuds. But outside of that, it's a fantastic sounding pair of earbuds where you have aptX playback if you're going to use it in Bluetooth mode. You have aptX low latency if you're going to be using that USB-C dongle. It just feels like one of those earbuds that you can use for pretty much anything, and it sounds great across all genres. So it checks a lot of the boxes, but I do still wish that it had a few extra features. And if you're looking at a pair like this, obviously it costing $150 puts it a little high. There is a really great cheaper alternative in the Soundcore gaming earbuds that we've recently checked out, and I will put links to both of these in the description. But guys, that wraps up my video on the EPOS GTW 270 hybrid true wireless earbuds. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.